Grand Rising family, joyous rising. Good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome, check in family. I see a few of you in the chat. I am live without notice, so I apologize for giving you just a few seconds and telling you, some of you, that I'm going to be live, and others I haven't really told anything. But I just want to briefly let you all know what I'm thinking about this morning. Something came to mind. Good morning, check in. I'm happy to see everybody. I hope you're having a happy Friday. I've been listening to these videos where I'm hearing young men express themselves. And I've heard the older men speak because I'm a woman of a certain age. But I'm listening to the young men speak, and they're like in their 20s, 30s, and maybe even late 30s, but maybe mostly around the 20, 30-year-old range. And what I'm hearing from the men is that they're saying they're not even approaching women anymore, like they're giving up. And it made me wonder why men are giving up on relationships, where men are like, I can't do it anymore. It's just too difficult. Women are hard to reach. They don't want to talk to you anymore. And I'm hearing women say they don't need men. They're all right by themselves. And so this made me think, that something is going on in our society where we're not even trying to build relationships any longer. And the focus is on overindulging in certain things. What I've noticed is that we've gotten so used to the overindulgence in things like social media and other outlets. Like, for a lot of our young people and men are involved in pornography, and we've become overly sexualized and overly stimulated to the point where we're living in a virtual reality and we don't even want to have relationships with one another. So it's about, how can I make myself feel good? Let me get as much stimulation as I can. And that may not be a fault of our own. To an extent, it is because we have agreed to be complicit in our own enslavement. Like, we agreed to give out our energy on social media so much that we don't have relationships. We've indulged, some of us, or especially our male population, it's really sad, in pornography so much that they can't really build relationships with women. And then women are involved in social media so much that their expectations for relationships and having a man are out of reach, and they're delusional expectations. So we've gotten to the point where we have become overindulged in social media and other outlets, pornography, entertainment, whatever, to the extent that we cannot function in the real world. And it's become sad. It's almost like we're afraid to actually live. Who actually lives? It's like we're afraid to have relationships with one another. We don't go out and work out, and we don't let our feet touch the grass. We're not breathing in fresh air. And it's come to the point where we're enslaved and we don't even know that we're slaves. We're living like slaves. So my message to you, speaking as Mama Kia, is take a chance. Take a chance to live life. Like, take a chance on relationships. Take a chance to actually live and go outside. Take a chance to close the computer, to take the phone and put it on vibrate, or to turn it off. And take a chance on figuring out who you are and building relationships with other people. Because there is an agenda to stop us from procreating. And even in the truther community, we are focused so much on politics and money, and that's good. We need finances, yes, to live. The scripture says money answereth all things. Okay, you're not going to get many places in this type of world broke. We get that. We understand. We understand and understand that. But there's currency that's outside of money. There's relationship currencies. There's your wealth, your health. Excuse me, is a wealth. Is a currency. There are a lot of things you can do outside of money. And so, like, in the truther community, if I'm not talking about money, when's my money coming? When's the finances coming? Sometimes it's a little hard for people to hear the message that Mama Kia speaks outside of geopolitics and finances. But it's a scary thing when you think about young people saying we don't approach each other anymore. Men saying, I'm afraid to talk to women nowadays because women are overly indulged in their reality of what a woman should look like. Women are getting Brazilian butt lifts and BBLs, and even women in their 50s and 60s spending all their money doing that because of what the television told them they're supposed to look like, and men don't even like that. Women are overindulging in these social media influencers who are saying if a man doesn't make six figures, he's not worthy. Well, whatever happened to character, values? What about a man's values? What could he bring to your life? A man's um, nature is to provide, yes, and to protect. But some of us have priced ourselves out of the market. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a woman making good money, but if you're making good money, why does he have to make six figures? So now men are coming to the point where they're like, I don't even want to build relationships. I can't even approach a woman, which in my reality, I would really like for men to approach the fathers, but we don't have that type of situation or community anymore when the men would go to the fathers and the elders of the community and say, I would like to talk to your daughter. And some of the elders are so perverted now that we don't even want a man to come to us to approach us about our daughters. We think there's something wrong with that. We think he's being sick or weird when that's the proper way, traditionally speaking. So you don't want your young daughter to get married. You don't want a man to approach her and say, I want you to keep your body so you can be married or marriageable, but you'll let your young daughter be out here having sex at 15 in somebody's car. If you're not protecting her energy and qualifying her for marriage and pouring into her and teaching her how to be a woman, a lady, and a future mother, nature is going to kick in at some point. Okay, she's going to have desires and needs, and somebody's son is going to come after her. So if you're not protecting her and cultivating her for marriage and teaching her to save herself for marriage and helping her to get married at a young age, because when you're in your youth and you're 18 to 24, 23, 25 maybe, that's when you're most fertile. That's when you're really marketable on the sexual marketplace. She's going to be in the back of somebody's car having sex. So I don't understand our mindset. Like, she's going to be in the back of somebody's car, and you're okay with her sleeping with these young boys. You're okay with her being gay. So she's having all type of objects forced up inside her vaginal area, and that's not natural. She's getting STDs. What are we doing? What are we doing? So we can focus on money and politics, but what's the point of having a lot of money if we don't even have our minds together? Our minds aren't even right. What's the point of having a lot of money if you're not even passing it down to your future generations, your posterity? We don't even know about creating legacy. We don't even know about mission and purpose in life. But we can watch social media. We can see the women with the BBLs and the women saying, I'm not having a man if he doesn't make six figures. Why does he need six figures if you spend all your time getting a whole bunch of relationships, got your body tatted all over, got ink all over your body, you've been out on girls trips, you've been out drinking, you partied, or you might have built a lot of money and wealth, for yourself, and you're making good money. Why does he have to make six figures? Now things are switching up. So let's pull away from the television. And it's gotten to the point from the television and social media that our reality has become perverted and is twisted. So with the women, we're watching a lot of social media. The men are watching a lot of social media, and they're becoming overly sexualized. And so some of the men need to step away from pornography and desexualize your brain so that you can focus on becoming spiritually elevated. And you can actually focus on making yourself a better person, becoming highly self-actualized. You can actually focus on building up your net worth so you can have a woman and approach a woman. But it's gotten to the point where we can't even approach each other and have relationships. And we're going to get to the point where you're going to be too old to procreate. And that's what the powers that be want. Do you know what they're teaching your children in school? And I know this from the young women in the community. They're teaching young women in school that you don't have to have children. You can take out your womb. They're teaching young women in school, in middle school and high school, don't have children, take out your womb, and you don't even have to worry about it. And so young women, 16 and 17, are saying, I don't want to have children. I'm just going to go and have an operation. And their moms are co-signing on it. Some of the moms wouldn't co-sign on this foolishness if they had been married, because the father would be saying, no, we're not going to have this. We've got to bring back a marriage culture. We need to step away from the television, step away from the computer, step away from the telephone, and have a real conversation and build character and have real life relationships. Because what happens is some of these women that are my age now, you're on the clearance rack. See, I've been married. I took care of my husband until he closed his eyes. I have a legacy. But still, in my old age, you could say I'm on the clearance rack. You think I'm sitting up here saying you got to make six figures, you got to be 6'8", and you got to be the smartest man in the world? This is foolishness. Pull away from the television and social media, because a lot of people that you all are watching are lying to you. There's this famous couple online, is this so-called Black girl. She's in her 20s. She got a Caucasian husband, big, brawny, good-looking man, good-looking couple. They got about 3 kids. Y'all know who I'm talking about if you follow certain people on social media. But she went viral because she told everybody, he's my provider. I left my no good Black man for this Caucasian brawny man. He's a good man, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's awesome that you found a good man to cover you. But what she didn't tell people is that she was a whore and a stripper and a woman of the night. She got him. She was on the clearance rack. Nobody wanted a whore. And I'm just going to be honest with you all. Some people strip because they have to. I get it. But let's just have a real conversation without our emotions being involved. She was a whore. We don't know what happened between her and her baby daddy. She got a nice looking man who looked like he might have been a bouncer. She paid off his debt. And recently on social media, she had a meltdown and said, tell everybody I paid for all this. I'm the one. I took care of you. Oh, all that masculine energy came out of her. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be nothing. I told everybody that you were taking care of me and you married me, but it's because of me. I took you out of debt. And he's just sitting there like, wow. She put all their business on social media. It's a facade. She's not happy. She's depressed. She moved to Hawaii. She paid for it on her dime, bought a Range Rover, but on social media, she said he did it all while she's berating her real husband, who's the father of her Black son. Sat up here and told the whole world that the Black man ain't crap. And it's sad. It's not just Black women. It's become modern women, westernized women that have become unapproachable. We got the BBLs, we over makeup, too much makeup, too many wigs. We're damaging our edges. Your hair stink because it's moldy. Your bodies are now messed up. You got tats all over. You got ink all over your body, and men don't like that. So what we're saying, we're pricing ourselves out of the marketplace, and now we're getting older and older and older, and still saying there are no good men. Well, you pass up the man with good character. And what's going to happen is going to price yourself out of the sexual marketplace. Nobody's going to want you. And you're going to end up being, some of you, somebody's mistress. And it's already happening. I've talked to young ladies all over the place because a woman wants a stable man. So when a stable man comes to you and say, yeah, I got this money, I'm stable, I'm mature, I can kick you out a couple bands or whatever, but I'm married. And these women are settling for that as they get older because nobody else wants them. We got to do something better, family. Why do you need a man that makes 6 figures when you can put your income together? That's what we did in my day. What's wrong with seeing a woman or a man with potential? I'm not telling you to be broke and struggle together, but if you are, who cares? Really. When I married my husband, yes, he bought me a house, but he was creative on ways how to buy a house. But when I met him, we were children. We went to college together. I helped him with some of his classwork. He helped me with some of my classwork. And we built each other up, and we built a foundation, and we have 8 children. And he died, leaving me a legacy. But we had nothing. His mother had to help us. What nowadays, if a mother steps up and says, son, I'll help you, especially in the Black community, I'll help you get your wife a house. I don't want to be with a man whose mama got to help him. He ain't nothing but a mama's boy. I won't be with a mama's boy. Well, then stay alone and get a dog or a cat. And this is the thing. We have gotten to the point, thank God for Taj, he and I'll have these kind of conversations all the time. We have gotten so delusional in our expectations of men as women. We'd rather have a dog or a cat. And the real reason is because we can't have interpersonal relationship with human beings. So we'll make that dog and cat the human. We'll dress them up in clothes. We take them outside, but we won't let them touch the ground. Some of us don't want them to get fleas, don't want them to be an actual dog or a cat and live in the wild and got them kissing us in the mouth and living in the bed with us because we don't want to have real relationships. So you got social media telling women to look like these fake image of a woman, because people like Kim Kardashian are really men that's posing to be women. So they got to get BBLs to look like a woman. And they get all these facial structure and all this, they go overboard with the makeup, all these transvestites and transsexuals on television, and these actors and entertainers are transsexuals. So they do too much makeup and wigs and all that. And they got women acting like that, thinking that's natural, and it's not. So turn off social media. It's not real. Turn off pornography, men. It's not real. You'll be able to go and improve yourself as a man if you turn off pornography. You'll be able to expect things from a woman that's natural when you turn off pornography. You'll be able to go and get money if you turn off pornography. Okay. So it's really interesting about what's going on out here, family. People do not want to have families. And we've been complicit in our own enslavement. Like I said, you got the school system telling our young girls, take your womb out as soon as you turn 18, or get your mom to sign up out on this and don't have children. Is that where we want to be as a society? There are just so many good men out here that are saying, I'm pulling back. I'm not even going to approach our women. And then we get mad and say, oh, no, you just want to be perverted. You just want to be a type of man that takes advantage of young girls. When back in my grandmother got married at 16. I don't know what y'all talking about. I got married at 18 because my mother wouldn't sign off. I don't believe in child marriages. But some of y'all would rather have your girl sitting in somebody's back seat at 18. And by 18, she's already had more men run through her, and women and objects, as a gay girl who's experimenting, more relationships than a grown 35-year-old man. And this is what's happening in our community as Americans, and especially in the Black community. I can speak on it. We've got to do a better job of living in the real world. Get you a person who's going to be good to you, who can add value to your life, and to somebody you can build something together. I don't care if that makes you Barbara the Builder, what the heck ever. You can build together. You can build a strong foundation. As long as he has a job and he's a good man, he's got good values, good morals, good principles, good character. And who cares if his mom and dad helps him? You think people in the Caucasian and Asian community care that daddy or mommy gave us a trust, or gave us some money to help us with our house, or helped us, let us move in so we can build a foundation? What is wrong with us? So we got to stop getting out of this virtual reality and live in the real world. And you know what? The way finances are working out right now, people aren't hiring. Some of us are going to be in a situation we're going to have to find somebody and make it work. So this is just what I want to say. Take a chance on life. Take a chance on love. Take a chance on reality. Close the computer, turn off the phone, walk outside, let your feet touch the grass, let the sun kiss your skin, and meet somebody in real life and build something together. A decent, good-hearted person is everything. And here's another thing I hear women say, I don't want a man that still lives at home with his parents. What if he's taking care of his sick mother? What if he's taking care of his dad who just had a heart attack? What if he's there because they're putting their finances together? How does that make him less of a man if he's staying there with his parents, helping them out? Like, where have we come to? I don't like a man that's always on the phone with his mama. He's a mama's boy. Well, you know what? So are the French men. Love their mothers. So are the Italian men. So are the men in Africa. They don't even leave the parents' house until they get married. And even when they get married, sometimes they're in a family home and they all live together. What's wrong with a man that loves his mother? Some of us women have gotten so bull daggerish. Look up the word bull dagger, or ask your 50-year-old uncle and auntie what a bull dagger is. We've gotten so bull daggerish, now they call them hyenas, that nobody wants us. And that's a problem, because you're going to find yourself in a place where you're all alone. You're not going to have anybody. There's nothing more amazing and more beautiful than masculine energy as a woman. There's nothing more amazing than a man with his strong arms coming to hold you and caress you and hold you close and tightly wipe away your tears. There's nothing more amazing than a masculine man bringing some type of structure to your chaos and your emotional chaos. There's nothing more amazing than having the presence of a man who can fight for you and give his life for you. Because let me tell you something. I have male sons. I have 7 sons and 1 beautiful, amazing daughter. My sons have told me and all the men around me, I would give my life for them. And they say, the men around me tell me we will give everything to our woman, our mind, our emotions, our energy, our wealth, everything to our woman. But it's gotten to the point we can't even start a relationship because the woman will reject us and say, you're not good enough. A man, they have to tell each other, pull it back, because these women will suck your energy. And then they'll tell you to convince you to marry them. Then they'll divorce you in court when they get bored and take everything, even if they're cheating as a woman. Women have become so bulldaggerish with the help of the government and the court system that men are saying, I'm done. And that doesn't make them ussy pays. It doesn't make them weak. It doesn't make them a vulture. It doesn't mean they want to take advantage of a young girl. It means that you become unapproachable and you've priced yourself out of the sexual marketplace. You are not touchable. You're nasty, you're mean, you're too aggressive, you got ink all over your body. Men don't like it. You got stuff done that you done to your body. Your own sons don't even like you because you berated his father in his presence. And when he looks in the mirror, he sees an image of his father. So take, family, please, please take a chance on life. The media is not real. These social media influencers, these girls that's talking about men that's giving them money, is not real. Most of them are lying. Men aren't just kicking out money like that. Back in the day, you might have had rich men who believed in being a sugar daddy, but that was way back in the day. It doesn't happen anymore. They're lying. These women are saying men is paying for everything. They're lying. Social media influencers that's telling you get money from men. Men are waking up to that. It's not real. And the women that's getting flown out to Dubai are getting pooped on, pissed on, beaten up, and ran through by a whole train of men, Saudis or whatever they are. You have women that have become so sick, mentally sick, that they even get on, what's they some type of Madison site. I don't know. It's a site where they're like giving themselves to married couples because they can't even find a man, or asking a man to give them money just to get flown out. But you'd rather do that than have a real relationship? And then when I talk to some of these women in their 30s, these young, why would I be with him? He's broke and he's poor and he's dusty. Well, what makes him dusty? Because he got a 9 to 5? Because he works at a gas station? He got a legitimate job? Okay, but when you get 40, you're going to settle for that. You could have just had him, or you could have just had your baby's father. I don't want my baby's father. He doesn't make enough money. Okay, so you're just going to sit here and get ran through and then finally end up 40, 45 and be with somebody else's husband? Is that where we are as a community? I'm going to create a school, and I'm in the process right now, thanks to my friends who God has put around me, to focus on the young people, to help our young women. And I have men in my life that are focused on the young men, and we're going to make marriageable young men and women. We're going to start them from the ground up, and we're going to pour into them values so that they can create a most beautiful, amazing society, and we can build up our community. So we got to do better, family. Pull away from social media. These are my last words. I got to go. I have somewhere to be. Social media is not real. Pets are wonderful, but they should not take the place of human beings. A man, you don't have to have a man with 6 figures in order to have an amazing life. My husband and I had nothing when we built our lives together, nothing. And his mom helped us buy our first house. That house was and we bought it for $12,500. We became like she put us on the mortgage some kind of way where we were paying her, but we were still co-owners, and it was in her name and our name, but she had the credit and we paid it. And that property became it was $12,500, 3 bedrooms with a fence, bathroom, beautiful, only owned by one woman. It's an elderly couple, but she was a widower when she gave us the house. It was so valuable, that little property on 9th Street in Portsmouth, Ohio, little rinky-dink town, that the city came and took our property from us, eminent domain, and expanded the high school and expanded the church on that property. Now it's priced in the millions. My husband did that for me, and his mama. You could have called him a mama's boy. You think I wasn't going to marry that mama's boy who had a virtuous man that loved me, that loved my children, that taught us about real estate, about finances, about credit, that had his own business, building homes, a construction building, taught all my sons about construction, taught all of our, and a phenomenal musician that taught most men in the House of God Church, which is an international church that's in a West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio area, was taught by my husband. And all 8 of our children are musically inclined because of my husband. But we had nothing. We started out with nothing. And his mama, a mama's boy, helped us. Mama's boy, a man who loved his mama, reverenced his mama, honored his mama, a good woman of God. But some of us won't do that because I don't like mama's boys. I don't like a man that likes his mama. It's because you don't like yourself. And that's okay. We can get help for all of this. We need some counseling. We need some counseling. And I know people might say I'm being a pick-me and, or not my crowd here, but, or you're an old lady, blah, blah, blah. What do you know? Just because you start out with nothing don't mean nobody. Look, I started out with nothing. Look at me now. How you like me now? 55, be 56, been married, all my kids by one man. I have now 8 children, build a wonderful legacy. They're all musicians, all thriving. I sent all of my kids to college. All of my children graduated from high school with a 4.2 GPA and above. Then GPAs max out at 4.0. Mine got above that 4.2, 4.4, 4.6, 4.8 GPA and all went to college. I am a virtuous woman. Took care of my husband to the day he died. We have a legacy now because we built something, a strong foundation on values and not money. So yes, money answers all things, but what is it if you don't have your health and you don't have good character? You just spend it all. So let's pull away from social media, take a chance on life, go out, get some exercise and go work out, breathe some fresh air and meet some amazing people who have good character. You won't know about his character or his values or her character, or her values, if you're only judging on the outside. Social media is not real. Most people on social media are doing things to build a following and to have a platform to make money. It is not real. Girl next door said, look, I'm 53 and I would love to build a life with a virtuous man. Right. And, some of us come to that awakening as we get older and we see, like, some of us just know because we're women of a certain age and we have wisdom. And some of us come to it, and we're like, wait, feminism sold us out. Some of us. And then some of us just know, like, we know what some people call a lioness. Those of us that have been around, like the girl next door and I, we know that if you got a man that's got good character, good values, and yes, potential, some men are worth building with. Men don't make 6 figures. Do you know most people in America make $42,000 a year or less? Most people in America don't even have $1,000 in savings. So if a washing machine broke down, they couldn't pay for it. Come on in. So that's it, family. I have to go. My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Bye-bye. Go out and make this a great